touch it, and I'll just while you speak.
Yeah, I will be forgetting to do that. Sorry, everybody. Jamie stands up to you and tells you why it's incredibly important that we should not lie. What we're basically saying is that in response to what we just heard from CG, is that, or CO, is that we are happy to say that lying is always morally wrong. This is because this is what we're doing with the message that you guys are proposing on Space Voyager is not just withholding information, which happens in some cases. It is presenting a thing as true when it is absolutely not true. When we get if we get your idea of what kind of message you want it to be, you want it to be on the one hand nice and fluffy stuff, which is, as you guys conceive it, probably an image portrayed by picked out by white Western American men with their values and their things that they care about. We think that is not, for starters, just not an accurate representation. But we also think that just completely distorts the idea and is just factually untrue on what humanity is and what we as humanity care for. So therefore, in our extension, or in my web speech, 3 things. First, how does this message work and how is it going to impact people? Secondly, how is this actually the most important, like the extension that Jamie brought to you, why it is always wrong to send out a wrong message? And thirdly, some rebuttal on the pain and death that we used to before. Okay, so what kind of message is this going to be? What we believe at the end of the day is not that we cannot have the benefits of an aspirational thing. We think that if their message is somehow going to be universal and general values that humanity cares about, this message will be stronger at the point that you acknowledge that, yes, we also did bad things. But in spite of that, we still aspire for all these good things that we get on this dating ID from Dan. But we think that because you add the actual true message, basically saying, we think that you can represent humanity better when you show that we are also better than what we have done in the past. As in some cases, we have learned from our mistakes. And we think that is showing that we can learn, showing that we can also aspire to great things is better when we are actually also doing this. I mean, if you're just saying, well, look at all these nice and fluffy things that happened that are just us, you are not being that aspirational person that you portray to be, or like that you somehow how advanced. And then we get all the analysis from Jamie as in, but probably if there is going to be some interaction, this is just going to be there in the first place. And like it's probably not going to be via Space Voyager, but probably via different means. And then further on some more practical stuff. I mean, as that we got from both opposition teams is that somehow the whole representation thing, as in what we think on our side of the house, and this is where Jamie extends, is that, you know, at the end of the day, we don't know how people are going to respond to this, or as in how extraterrestrials are going to respond to this, but we also know that, as you pointed out in one of the PYs, that people right now do not know that much about what Space Voyager actually is. So their whole analysis on that that we also get from you guys is therefore not that important. So, but yeah, go.
Sure. The point of Voyager isn't to represent humanity accurately, because A, it's impossible to do so, and B, Dan tells you can just inform them later, right? Please engage with our material about how this is about giving humanity hope to achieve ideals, and how representing genocide isn't going to do that.
So what we're saying in our second house, that is not true, because of two things. Firstly, we think because this whole idea that we get from opening opposition, as in the dating idea, is just not something how this works. We think that in most cases, if humans find out that there is some kind of extraterrestrial being, we being curious in the species, probably the other species is also going to be quite curious because they apparently have the technology to actually decode our message. This means that they will probably want to get in touch either way. So we don't think this whole dating analogy actually stands because we think that there is in that case there would be interaction anyway, regardless of this, and we think that it would then be better to inform people. So what we're saying is that it's extraterrestrial beings, because what we're saying, as Jamie tells you, why it's always principally wrong to lie to people, and especially when you do not tell them the truth. So considering Jamie's analysis on that, we think that it's just that we, in that case, have a much larger chance that we actually get the angry response from this species, because we think that the interaction will be then established either way. So, no, it isn't done. So, engaging with what we get from closing opposition. So from closing opposition, we get the idea that pain and death is such a horrible thing that there will always be an angry response to this. We're saying this is not necessarily true. People have emotions attached to these kind of images. We think that if it is the case that some species also have this kind of reaction, we think that this is not necessarily going to mean that they will feel angry. They will get some kind of understanding, especially because of what they're saying, right? We as humans are also able to experience these emotions and then rationalize them and understand and learn from them. And that is what they're not doing. They're continuing to think that there will be necessarily always an angry response to this, which is kind of weird if you suppose that these extraterrestrial beings are actually also capable and able of feeling this kind of emotion. So we therefore think that analysis just doesn't stand. Okay. So, therefore, what we brought to you on closing opposition is why it is so incredibly important that you make sure that you correctly inform extraterrestrial beings at the first part. When Beck stands up to you and tells you that we're going to give them as little information as possible, this means that necessarily the idea that you're going to send is untrue. Considering all the analysis we get from Jamie, why it is important that you do get this information, we therefore believe that therefore we should do this.